Good evening. This is a full-time sports network takeover, and we're talking North London Derby. Now, before anyone jumps at me, yes, I'm an Arsenal fan, but this is a topic that I'm going to talk about as a neutral, as a football fan, because that is what I am. Firstly, yes, I support Arsenal. Yes, I like Arsenal winning and blah 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 blah, everything like that. However, I'm going to talk about this. Two big subjects. How important is this game to both clubs tonight, this weekend, and also, are both clubs Premier League title contenders? The question's got to be asked. Arsenal are in first, Tottenham are in third after 7 games. It's a decent question to ask. Let's just get into the comment from David Clark. Big up to David Clark. Hope you're doing well. He lives in Leicester. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for joining me. But yeah, this is let's talk to basics. Let's talk to basics of the Arsenal Tottenham rivalry. Didn't really exist until 1913 when Arsenal went to North London and made North London their own ground. I'm hoping you can all hear me because I'm slightly worried that you can't hear me at the moment. I think you can, but yeah, certainly because I can't actually hear myself back. Normally I can, and for some reason, there we go, I can hear myself back now. It's my headphones. But the rivalry really happened mainly in 1919, where the first division was to be expanded by 2 teams, and the league held a meeting of the clubs to decide to do clubs by means of a vote. 19th place Chelsea, who would have otherwise have been relegated, were allowed to stay, and thus they took the first of 2 spots. The second spot could have been awarded to 20th place Tottenham or Barnsley, who had finished third in the second division, but Arsenal, along with 4 other clubs, also bid for the place, despite finishing 6th in Division 2, although an error in the calculation of goal average meant Arsenal had actually finished 5th, which was corrected by the Football League in 1980. After an endorsement by league president and chairman of Liverpool, John McKenna, on account of their longer membership of the league, Arsenal won the vote by 18 votes to Spurs 8. Barnsley got 5, Wolves got 4, Nottingham Forest got 3, Birmingham 2, and then Hull got 1, and were thus selected to the first division. So that's the basics of the big massive rivalry between North London, between Arsenal and Tottenham. It's a very long, happened so long ago. Let's not dwell on it too much, guys. This matters for bragging rights now. You know, is North London blue and white, or is it red and white? We will find out. But the first question is, the first question mainly is, what does the game mean this season? So the reason I've asked that question is it really important this season? Yeah. This game is always going to matter. With knowing the history of the game and with how long it's been going on, this is an important game. It will always be important, and yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think it's always going to be important, no matter what. You know, unless one of the teams, for some bizarre reason, move away from North London, it's always going to be important. So, yeah. So over the years, there has been 273 games played between Arsenal and Tottenham. Now, let's talk about Premier League first. So in the Premier League, Tottenham have won 15. We've drawn 23 games, and Arsenal have won 22 games. Played 60 games in total in the Premier League. Now, if we're talking total games, so that's including every single game that's ever been played between the 2 clubs, there has been 99 wins for Tottenham, 109 wins for Arsenal, and 65 draws between the two clubs. So it's a little bit, it's closer than a lot of people will assume, because obviously Tottenham weren't the biggest club in North London for quite a while. And that's fine. It's not a problem with me. And it's not going to be a problem with anybody else, to be honest. But see, the crazy thing is, right now, Tottenham probably are the bigger club. Good evening, Tony. Hope you're doing well, mate. But right now, Tottenham can class to kind of be the bigger North club, because they've finished above us for the past 6 seasons. So on that aspect, you can say that Tottenham at the moment are bigger than us in terms of right this moment. Who's won the main trophies? That's a different conversation. I'm not going to get into that. That is not for today's show. I'm sure Tony will probably say something in the comments. But what I've done, I've looked into the past 4 seasons. Okay, mainly specifically the past 4 seasons. Now, we have outspent Tottenham by 50 million. See, I knew Tony would. Tony would say something. No, they ain't, Bob, stop it. Unfortunately, for the past 6 seasons, they've finished above us. That is facts. You know, it's in there. It's part of history. It is the fact. But we have spent more than 50 million than them. We have spent 385 million net spend compared to 336 million on Tottenham. So all this talk of we've spent so much more money, blah 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 blah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They've been better in the league. That is probably the better way of saying it. But when it comes to trophies, and that is what we all support football for, we don't support it for the part of it is for the love of the game, but you want to win trophies. And that's where, unfortunately, for Tottenham fans, they are defeated by us. We have won countless trophies. So for me, that's just never going to happen. Never going to happen. Good evening, Luke, saying cheaters. I'm not going into this. I'm trying to stay non-biased as much as I possibly can for this. And so this game is never going to lose its importance ever. You know, unless someone moves, then obviously it might lose a bit of importance. But that's not going to happen unless crazy things happen in the world. So you know, this game. So Tony's trying to make this not more biased than I am. I'm trying to be non-biased, so I'm not wearing an Arsenal shirt. Normally I wear an Arsenal shirt when I talk about Arsenal. Non-biased. For us, football is about trophies. For Tottenham. I can't even say the name, the word that you've typed there. Tottenham fans, it's the taking part. They are levels. I have heard crazy statements coming out of Tottenham fans this season, and we are going to get into that conversation in a minute. But I've also heard crazy things from Arsenal fans saying pretty much the same, and again, I'll get into that. We both got to realise that we've got to grow again. Tottenham are getting to a point where there's a couple of their players are getting a little bit older. They need to improve on those. Arsenal are rebuilding. They've been rebuilding for a while now, and you know, who knows what happened 2 or 3 years. We may be where we want to be again, which would be great. It would be fantastic for Arsenal fans. Tottenham, they've got a bit of a different issue. They are massively in debt. It's well documented. It's not me trying to have a dig at Tottenham. They are massively in debt, massively. So at some point, that has got to be paid. Owners aren't going to take that much debt, and FFP comes into play, and that's going to have to be sorted out at some point. And then you've got Harry Kane, he's getting old now. Son, getting old now. Højbjerg. There's quite a lot of, and Lloris being the obvious one as well. So there's a lot to sort out at Tottenham over the next few years. Just to get into Luke saying, they were always going to have a period of time when they were going to be better than us. A 20-year period of finish ahead of them isn't usual in our rivalry with them throughout our history. Exactly. It isn't. I think it was 21 seasons or something like that. It was crazy. But this could be the year. Early indications suggest that this could be the year that we do finish above Tottenham. And as an Arsenal fan, I certainly hope so. But we also need to realise that, when it comes to who's had the better seasons lately, it's been Tottenham. So don't be surprised if they finish slightly above us. Like if they finish third, we finish fourth. For me, right, this season, it's Champions League is bare minimum. If Tottenham happen to finish third, I'm not going to lose my cool over that. I'd rather have Arsenal finish fourth and then Tottenham fifth. Then I'll be a happy man. Because Tottenham have got that bragging rights this season. They're in the Champions League. We're not. We're in Europa. That's fine. So the next question is, and Tony, and Luke and whoever else is listening, this is where I want you guys to answer this question honestly. Do you think that Arsenal and Tottenham, because we're going to join as one here because we're literally a point between us, are we title contenders for this season? My iron answer is no. I don't think we're ready, and I don't think Tottenham are quite ready. I've seen Tottenham play a lot this season. I've seen Arsenal play every game. I always do. But when it comes to catching Man City, we're not there. We're not there. Can we sneak second? That's possible. I'm fairly shocked by Liverpool and how bad they've been this season. Chelsea are kind of in a weird space at the moment. And Man United are also in that bit of a weird space at the moment. So, I'm going to say we need to take advantage of that weird space for other teams. And if we do, then great. I'll be well happy with that. But what I'm going to go into is the fixtures that have happened so far this season. I'm going to go into Arsenal's first, just because they are the first. Actually, I don't know who it will be, actually. It could be... Who's am I sharing first? I'm sharing Tottenham's by the looks of it. So I'm going to share... And here's Luke saying his answer. And honestly, no, I think City will get between 95 to 100 points. Neither us or Spurs will get anywhere near that points total. Exactly. Tony answering the question, we could be title challengers. We could do a Leicester. People writing off City's main objective is UCL, so why not? Yeah, Tony was saying this earlier, actually. And good evening to Adam from GM. Global Mapping Surveys Limited. Now, there will be a big talk about this. Global Mapping Surveys now sponsor these channels. Brilliant guy, Adam. Tony, I did my best not to say that word from saying it. Well, not me saying it earlier, but other people. But yeah, Adam's awesome. He's sponsored the channel, so you will be seeing the company name, the company website over the channels for the foreseeable future. We will be talking about it. There will be more announcements in due course. I wasn't even going to plan on talking about it tonight, but bless Adam, he's come in. He's a United fan, so good on Adam for coming in. And yeah, so Global Mapping Surveys Limited, basically a surveyor. Great website. There will be some banners and stuff coming in the near future. Talk about it more. But yeah, big up to Adam, who's sponsoring all the different Full-Time Sports Network, the Armory, so on and so forth. And we'll all be working together. But big up to Adam. Awesome job. And yeah, that is the new chapter for all of us here. All linked, because the Armory TV is linked to a Full-Time Sports Network. It's all a beautiful family that will work together. However, I will say this live on camera. I did try and get a Tottenham fan to join me, but it's very hard to find a Tottenham fan to talk about this subject. I don't know why. I'm not a nasty person. But yeah, I tried to, but it would have been nicer to talk to a Tottenham fan about this. But it is what it is. Right, let's talk about the games so far this season. Right, let's talk about the first game for Spurs. 4-1 win against Southampton. Pretty comprehensive, and it was to a point. Southampton weren't the Southampton they are now. They were struggling at the beginning of the season. Spurs took advantage of that, and well done to Spurs. 4-1 win. Let's get into the Chelsea-Tottenham game. Now, I saw this. I did a watch-along. How Spurs managed to do this is beyond me. They were absolutely awful. Chelsea could have easily won this 4 or 5-0. So, yeah, that was a lucky point for me. And Spurs went on and beat Wolves. Again, for me, quite lucky they got this win. This is not being an Arsenal fan. This is me. I literally watched the game. So, Forest against Spurs. Again, they were kind of lucky. Nottingham Forest kind of deserved a draw for me in that game. West Ham Spurs. It wasn't a great game. Spurs have this kind of low block that makes the games a little bit dull, to be honest. They kind of go for a goal and then sit back and hope that no more goals go in and they might sneak one on the counter. So, yeah, and then they went on to beat Fulham 2-1. Again, it wasn't a great performance. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. I have to be honest from what I've seen. And then I did the watch along for this next game, which was Spurs 6, Leicester 2. Now, you will think of that as, oh, what an easy result that was. Nothing but easy. That game, it was 3-2. Leicester were in it. Leicester were giving Tottenham so many problems. To be honest, if Leicester had scored a third, that game could have gone either way. But then it was the magic of Son came on, scored a magical hat-trick. To be fair, he looked so impressive when he came on. It was the Son show. Tottenham, again, were lucky to be winning that 6-2. And, yeah, so... I can't wait for the mop heads to drop. Bless you. Exactly, mate. No. Adam, yeah. We'll talk off air, but honestly, mate, you have done an awesome thing. So yeah, you deserve every kind word that comes out of my social anxious mouth. I hope I explained it well enough. And Adam, definitely from me, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk football, which is what I enjoy doing. It gets me through my day. So, and Tony saying, even the fans have gone all Spursy for this stream, Bobby. You know what? This is weird, right? I don't think it's streaming to the Paxton Road. Now, I know I set it up to stream to Paxton Road. And for some reason, it's just disappeared. And I don't know why. It's just magically disappeared. Piff Paff Puff. It's like a little magic trick. I don't know what's happened. As far as I know, it was. For some bizarre reason, someone's taken it down, which is up to them, I suppose. But I thought it was quite a good idea to talk about the North London derby to both channels, get both fans' opinions on it. They chose not to, and that's fine. It is what it is. Let's get into. Let's see. Let's hope I can actually. Paxton Boys removed it. Yeah, I know it's an interesting one, I have to say. Let's hope this is the right one now. So I'm just going to. There we go. That's definitely the right screen. Right. Let's get into Arsenal. Right. First game, Crystal Palace. Me, I was expecting a very hard draw, possibly a defeat. I have to be honest. 2-0 win at Palace. Well happy. I would have. Yeah, that was delighted me. Very good hard performance. We're showing some actual metal now and some real stubbornness. Good stubbornness, not a bad stubbornness like you can't be bothered to do stuff. Very good stubbornness, and I like that. The Arsenal-Leicester game. Leicester, they've had a bad season, but they can score goals. They've got Maddison. He's a little magician. For me, he's probably been their best player, him and Barnes. But you can't win games with just two good players. So, but a very good result again. Bournemouth, Arsenal, 3-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, good enough. I would have liked to have been more clinical and probably won that about 6 or 7-0 personally. The Arsenal Fulham game. Now, we were all over Fulham. And then we just showed our mettle again and won it. And it was down to pure metal and pure stubbornness again, that we didn't let our heads drop. We fought really hard. And I have to be honest, I'm being impressed with how stubborn we are. That is something that I haven't seen for a while at Arsenal, and I'm quite like that. Arsenal beating Villa again showed how gritty we are, how stubborn, just to ground out that win. The next one, I have to be honest, this one I do kind of blame a little bit on Arteta. He went there in the wrong tactics, played into Manchester United hands. Man United beat us 3-1. I would have been perfectly happy with a draw there, but it is what it is. We then moved on. Now, this could have obviously affected us against the Brentford game. Brentford obviously beat us last season 2-0, not 3-0, which is what I put in there. 2-0. But again, we showed courage, we showed grit, and we beat Brentford 3-0. Now, I will be honest, Brentford were not the Brentford I'm used to seeing, but you can only win if you perform. We performed. So we did that very well. So let's talk about, do I think we're going to be Premier League contenders? No, we're not. Do I think we should be finishing the fourth? Top four? Definitely. There is no way I'm going to accept fifth this season at all. No accepting it. It's a must win for us this season to finish fourth. There is no acceptance of fifth with a Europa League win, because that's not progression for me. We have to finish fourth. Simple as. We must finish fourth. Tottenham, are they better than Liverpool? Liverpool now, yes. But then, to be fair, Arsenal and I'll probably say Man United are probably better at the moment, like in the league. I know other things happen in the Europa, but in the league, I'd say even Man United are playing a little bit better than Liverpool. Liverpool are just having a shocker, and it's even shocking me. And I knew they were going to have a bit of a fall off and a bit of a drop off at some point. I said this last season, I can see Liverpool having a bit of a drop off in form. Some of their players getting older and older, and it's not just like one or two; it's quite a big group of them. So yeah, do I think currently? I actually think Arsenal will finish third, and I think Tottenham will finish fourth. That's what I think right now. I don't know what I think. Toady thinks we might finish like that, second or third. I can see it. Our biggest task and our biggest reality check will be October. And I have to say, I have to be honest, it's going to be a reality check. It's going to be a case of, can we cope with all those games in such a short space of time? Because we can have one on Sunday, one on Thursday, one on Sunday, one on Thursday, blah, 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 blah. Now, with the way that injuries are affecting our team, it's not looking good. I've seen some training photos today. Obviously, a lot of the guys are on international break, so they're not going to be pictured. But I will be looking out very specifically at the training pictures in a few days' time, because I am slightly concerned that we may be missing 3 players. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because a weakened Arsenal against a Tottenham that can be dangerous on the counter-attack, and that is literally what they can do. They can be extremely dangerous to us on the counter-attack. Yeah, so if we're going to do a match preview, so I'm not going to talk about the game so much. The match preview will probably come out later in the week. But yeah, I think a weakened Arsenal team will worry me, really will. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Luke saying here, Liverpool will be back to their best by the time they play us. It's very possible, mate. Very possible. But it's also possible that other things may happen at Liverpool. I'm not going to say that Klopp will be sacked or anything, but I just don't see them being the same Liverpool. Salah obviously is nowhere near the form that he always does at Liverpool. So just him coming back will be a bonus to them. But their midfield is shocking. Like, that is, most games are lost and won in midfield, and they got nothing. They can have a great attack, but without a midfield that is competitive enough against teams that are actually going to properly fight you in midfield, which I could say probably about at least 15 of them in Premier League are going to do that. This is not a top 6 thing. This is a Premier League midfielders properly fight. And Adam saying here, Arsenal should be finishing 4th, but I can still Spurs finishing 3rd. Mate, even if that happened, I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't. I'm not. Oh, hello. Hello, Canners. How are you, mate? Let me just finish talking about Adam, what Adam was saying. But I if we finish 4th and Spurs finish 3rd this season, I still wouldn't care. My objective for Arsenal this year is 4th. Then I'm happy. Canners, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Apologies. Yeah, I just thought, you know what? I was watching and I was thinking, let me see if he wants a little bit of company.
Oh, I always love a bit of company. I did offer it out to the Tottenham fans, but they all seem to be hiding for some reason. I don't know. I know. Yep. Yeah.
If they get a spawny victory or a draw or whatever, they'll all start coming out the woodwork. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, but yeah. So what's your opinion on the 2 questions I've asked? Do you think this game will always have some meaning behind it, no matter what? Even if like one team is struggling for relegation and one team is pushing for the top, do you think it's always going to have a big rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
even when we was winning leagues and and going unbeaten, and just even when we had the big rivalry with United and Liverpool, even you always looked to the calendar for that particular fixture, because that was one for for bragging rights and everything. So for me, it's always going to be a huge meaning. You just want to always shut. Doesn't matter even if they're fighting relegation. You just want to stick that proverbial nail in the coffin, don't you? You just want to always make sure that you've got one over them. Yeah, for me, I guess because I go way back with it's always going to have a meaning.
How far back do you go back with it, Canners?
Late 70s, 80s.
Oh, okay, way before me
Mm.
as well. Yeah, I'm late 80s, but seeing us at Wembley playing Tottenham and stuff, that I went to those games
Oh,
as a teenager.
oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
I missed the I didn't manage to get to the FA Cup semis. When
yeah,
they had them at Wembley. Um,
yeah,
yeah. Oh gosh,
yeah,
it was but yeah, always from the Littlewoods Cup semis, those ones, and there's so many great games that memories of growing up that we had against them. So yeah.
yeah. And then the second question is: do you think
Mm.
Arsenal and Tottenham are both title challengers this year because of the way that it's all started? Do you think we can be contenders along with Tottenham? I have to be fair to Tottenham because they're up there as well.
It's going to be a funny league this year. I really do. It's obviously you got the anomaly, which is City. um, but I
Ash
feel,
has to try and distract us, doesn't he? He just has to
yeah,
distract us.
yeah, shit.
Yeah, I was trying to do this as a non-biased fan
I
today.
know, I know.
It's people just trying to. Even Paxton,
Um,
I was streaming this to Paxton, and they've literally cancelled the stream, and I'm like, okay, fair enough.
really?
But I was trying to do this as I am a non-biased fan, as that's I'm a football fan first, Arsenal
Mm,
fan second. I
mm.
always have a level head, so I thought I'll do it to Paxton Road, and they cancelled the stream, and I'm like,
Wow, that's a bit.
and Ash is now saying that, and I'm like, you know what, they are. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, oh, yeah. So I just feel it's going to be a funny season. I really do. With the never in history have we had a World Cup bang in the middle of our season. That's going to have a bearing on things as well.
yeah,
And this October is going to be such a huge shakedown. In the sense that you've got so many games in so little time. Um, it's one of those juggling acts that all managers are going to have to deal with. I think we're probably a little bit luckier because we don't have Champions League, in the sense that with the Champions League you have to play your best 11,
yeah,
and then you have to play your best 11 at the weekend. So we can rotate that a little bit more when it comes to Europa. I believe anyway, but I are we do you know what? I think we can challenge. I think we can be thereabouts. I think we can come second. Um, and Tottenham are in there as well, whether we like it or not. To be honest,
yeah,
it's a. I don't know if it's a ominous sign that they're playing not great but still picking up victories. Is
yeah.
that or is it a case that they will get found out and teams will start smashing? I don't know. I hope obviously it's the latter, not the former.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we're going to do a match preview at some point this week before, so we don't want to talk about too much about the game itself.
Mm.
But do you think our weakness this season could be October, with the games coming up like literally every 3 days? The weakness in our squad depth. That's my own personal opinion. I think the squad depth's a bit weak still. Do you think we might struggle after October?
gosh. He's kind of living and dying by his decisions in the summer, isn't he? With regards to getting that Purple extra signing. Whether or not that will come back to bite him, we don't know. I think what we need and what we probably are lacking is a squad, and we're going about it in the right way in the sense that we don't have not so much backup players anymore. We have more of a squad, which to me bodes well. You know, we've got the Tierney Sinchenko conundrum. You got the conundrum with Tomiyasu, and who do you actually play at right back? Do you play Ben White, or do you put Ben White back in the middle? You know, so the defense is looking great. The midfield is obviously that little bit light, and obviously in one of the wingers as well. We do need another winger to take the stress off Saka and Martinelli. Whether or not Marquinhos comes in and does a job, obviously he will get minutes in Europa. But and I think Nketiah actually is, you know, from what we've seen of him this season, is doing very well. When he's come on and you know, and he always looks like he can, or you know, change the game. So injuries really is the key thing. I don't think we've got a problem with form. It's injuries, and it would be good if we can have some luck with the injury gods, because always at the crucial time we seem to get kind of
Well, I've got two more questions to ask you before I'll just get into the comments. Actually, I will bring this up from Ash again. So, what do we think of Tottenham? Poop. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say poop because honestly, I was trying to work really well with the Tottenham fans tonight, and none of them wanted to work with me, and that's fine. I have got some decent ones that are friends, but the ones I've been trying to work with, they're now going to get pooped tonight, so that's fine. Luke's saying here that he's been a fan since '93, so yeah, this rivalry has been part of my life for 30 years. Remember listening to them on the radio. And Brenny, evening guys, respect to Free Spurs fans, they're not available. Probably scared you guys would talk about. I wouldn't. I said this, and people know me from like FTSN. I am very non-biased when I'm trying to talk about a proper football subject. I am very non-biased. It's the way I have always been, because I don't do banter. I don't do all this just to wind people up.
Let's talk about the facts, and let's talk about football. Let's talk about you know what's going on, and where we think we may well be. I think this is probably the most balanced, or could we say equal?
Yeah,
the two squads have been for many a year.
Yeah, because this will lead into one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually. Would you be bothered if we finished fourth, but Spurs finished third or second? Would that bother you?
Yes,
quite an easy question.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? Can I answer this twofold? There's a twofold.
Go on then.
All right. The fact that we're in Europa, right, and we've managed to attract the type of players that I think that he wanted, and the type of players like your Gabriel Jesus's, etc., says to me that we're still a huge draw, regardless. Obviously, we can't be out of the Champions League too long. It's been long enough.
Yeah.
I feel if we get back into the Champions League, however we do that, we will attract huge players, and start becoming consistent in the Champions League again. We'll become that club again, that players that would want to play for us. I don't see Tottenham in that bracket, even if they get... Look, what I'm trying to say is, if Tottenham, as they are in the Champions League, and we're in Europa, and we're going for the same player, I reckon we've got a better chance of getting that player.
Yeah.
However, you reverse it, you put us in the Champions League and Tottenham in Europa, there'll be no contest of where the player would go.
Yeah.
That's what that. So what I'm saying by that is that I would see it as a stepping stone. Okay, I wouldn't be. because my thing right now is for us to get back into the Champions League and start attracting those, those players that will take us to the next level.
Yeah.
So I would see it as a progression, and it wouldn't bother me so much. But as long as the year after we did absolutely smash the league and Tottenham in the process.
Yeah. So before I ask the second question, Silver's Tony's just come in. Let's just say how it is. Tottenham are poop. And before I go into Luke's comment, I'll just say I'd happily take 7th and win Europa League. Spurs finish 2nd. Oh, I wouldn't be happy with 7th. I would not be happy with 7th.
No.
I do get what he's saying now in Widley, because they'll still win Diddley Squat. So yeah, I do get where he's coming, but the 7th, no, I can't. But this is a question for you, Canners. In the late 70s to early to late 80s, what was the rivalry like in those days?
Okay. So the late 70s, it was more like, so both the teams then, I'd say like the late 70s to the mid 80s, both teams were cup teams. We weren't challenging for the league. So obviously Tottenham were kind of winning FA Cups, against the QPR and Man City, I think, in the very early 80s. And then winning the UEFA Cup, I think in like 84 or whatever, where we was kind of picking up, we was dire until George Graham come in. We would have the odd cup semi here and there, so the rivalry was kind of more, of us in the league. I remember one time actually they thrashed us 5-1 when we just got Charlie Nicholas, and I think what's his name? Is it Graham Roberts put Charlie Nicholas into row Z of one of his challenges and everything, and yeah, so obviously there was huge rival, but then as soon as George Graham come in, it kind of like stabilized. We started coming up, and it was kind of pretty much kind of the turning point was, as I said, before, the Littlewoods Cup semi, where it was a two-legged affair. I think the first game, so this was 87 this was, so the first game was at Highbury. They beat us 1-0. And then the second game, we drew. We beat them. One, I think it was 2-1. And then there's a replay, and it was toss of a coin. It was at their ground, and we beat them 2-1. And that was brilliant. That was. And then from there on, really, we kind of, we went from strength to strength. Obviously, we won the title in '89, and then, Tottenham didn't really, hardly winning anything. So the rivalry was pretty much in the league, and then we kind of, pretty much kind of, took the charge of it from all the 90s and all the noughties and everything. So yeah, there was no competition really until I guess the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's cool. I just want to quickly get it in comments because Solo, big up to you, mate.
Yeah, they're smashing him.
DWTT, hello Bobby Canners in chat room.
How you doing, DWTT?
Errol Spurs, who are, well, at the moment they don't exist to me. I've fallen out with anyone now to stay Spurs related. That's it. I'm not happening. I've tried to be really nice today, and I'm like that. Tony saying Canners isn't that old. Don't be rude, man. I got you, Canners.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Silverfoot. I tell you, I get killed because I keep going back into the history books and everything. And it's like, how old is this guy? Bloody hell. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people, I don't want to get too much into religion, but a lot of people sleep with their Bible. I've got my Bible, but I've also got my Arsenal history book right by my bed. Just I read it now and then. It's it's part of my bedroom. It's literally that, and there's Highbury up there. That's the picture that you can just see there. That's Highbury because that's my home. I've never been to the Emirates ever.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I live in Wolverhampton now, so I've got social anxiety. So there's a lot of reasons why I can't get down there, but. I've gone to see. I went to see Arsenal versus Wolves as an Arsenal fan, so I was in with the away fans for on you last season. That was an experience. But that was the first time ever I've been with the away fans, so I've never seen what they're like, and they are mad. They are mad.
Man, that must have been amazing. So, what was your? Sorry, just to kind of quickly fire a question at you.
Yeah.
Your best moment at Highbury. What was your most memorable moment at Highbury?
seeing righties when the when he beat the Cliff Baston record.
Yeah, and he lifted up
That
his
was
shirt.
one. But the one that I do remember very vividly, because I was behind the goal and I was on Match of the Day when Tony Adams scored that fantastic fourth against Everton.
Oh,
I
can
was
you believe it? That's
no, I was in Match of the Day. My mum paused it because we had Sky and however you do it back then. But
yeah.
Mum paused it because I've literally ginger hair, so I stood out like it anyway. And then she said, "Look, you're on TV," because I was right behind the goal with my.
I'm going to go back and watch that now.
But I was also a junior gunner as well, and I got a really weird story. But when Wenger joined, it was that long ago.
Yeah.
They asked all the junior gunners, what 3 players would you ask Wenger to sign for Arsenal? Now, I can't remember the third one, unfortunately. I just can't remember him. But I said Lizarazu and Zidane, both from Bordeaux at the time. They were both at Bordeaux. And I was thinking to myself, if only he signed them.
Oh, my God. Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah, but the experiences I've had at Arsenal, I have a bit of a memory problem, but I remember there was one game against, was it Leeds? I think we were losing, and I think we either drew or won or something. I can't remember. But my dad had already left because he's got this thing about if we're losing 5 minutes, because we live quite far away from Highbury itself. Dad had this thing about taking us all out if we were losing 5 minutes before the end of the game. And we literally got out the North Bank and we heard a goal and we went, and they wouldn't let you back in. So
No. Yeah.
And it might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was Leeds. But yeah, I've had some, because I remember there when there was the that silly plasterboard thing they put.
The mural end. Yeah,
geez, I hated that. But we went into the North Bank after that, and I loved that North Bank. And there was this. I don't know if you remember, because I have a bad memory, but there's one man that stands out. He was either in the East End or the West End. He was in a brown coat, right. And if the fans had gone quiet, he was the only one that stood up and started to sing and to get everybody singing again. Yeah, and I just every single game I was there. He was the only
so the West Stand. Yeah, I remember. So I think the West Stand is where the dugout, where the players come out the tunnel.
Oh, okay, so
that was the old West Stand.
Yeah. So yeah, oh mate, Highbury was just awesome. I go to the Molineux lot because the Molineux is literally 100 meters there. So I go to the Molineux quite often because my dad thankfully brought me up to always support your local team.
Yeah.
So I've kept that on me. I'm like, okay, I'll support the Wolves, and they went League One at one point. So I was going to watch some awful games, but yeah. So thankfully, I don't know if you know someone called Andrew Rolls who used to work for Arsenal.
The name rings a bell, you know.
Yeah, he used to be a physio at Arsenal. He was the man that was lovely enough to get me tickets to go and watch the Arsenal against Wolves last season because he's my partner's granddad's nephew.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, so
I've got it.
Now, yeah, he's now at works at Ipswich now. So yeah. So I've missed all the conversations in the chat.
No.
Sometimes I forget I'm on camera. I just ramble on.
That's what this is about. It's just two guys just having a great chat and stuff. And
it's the first time I've actually met you, guys. I've spoke to Gums. I've spoke to Brenny. Tony, I've obviously spoke to quite a lot. I can't think of us. Oh, there was a couple of others. I can't remember their names, unfortunately. I do apologise. But it's the first time I've met you. But I've seen you in like the videos before. You've seen a nice guy. I didn't realise you were a bit older than me, actually.
Yeah, I'm old. I'll be drawing my pension soon, so I'll get that one in, Mr. Fox, before you say it. Yeah.
Now, Brenny, I know you might be listening. It says device is not connected, so I don't know what's happened there, mate. Can you see that as well, mate?
I can see that.
Yeah. Because I would let you in, Brenny, but it's saying device is not connected, and I know it would say no. Are you discussing any footy from the past?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, that's Adam at his best.
Yeah. I found you go grey. Just cut it off. Oh God, crikey, they're having them. Oh, hang on. Can I add him now? Brenny, are you there, mate? Brenny.
Hey.
Hello, mate.
Here he goes.
Actually,
Yeah.
whilst
You
we
all
both,
good?
yeah, well, I'll answer this question now. This second question I was going to ask Canners, and Brenny, you can answer as well.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Can you? Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear.
Can you
Hey?
hear me, Canners?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you, Brenny.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool, Canners. Yeah, man, you all good?
I'm good. I'm good, man. This is. I think you're probably lagging at your end. I think
Oh, was it?
maybe. Yeah.
What the question I was
I don't
going
know
to
what's
ask?
happening
Are we
here
all
with this.
concerned? Are we
Laptop's
all
been a bit funny today.
Okay. Maybe if you go off and then we'll
I'll
disconnect
get
you and
back
then
in.
you come back on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to remove him,
See what's
Canners, or?
happening.
Done.
I've done.
I
I've
think.
just done.
Oh, you done it.
Both did it at the same time there. When Brenny, we'll let Brenny give us a thumbs up when you're ready, mate, and we'll chuck you back in. Right. So the second question I was going to ask:
Yep.
Are you concerned about 4 players coming back injured from it? Because I watched the Scottish Irish game. Kieran Tierney, there was obviously some issue there. I think it might be concussion. Not 100% sure, but he didn't look with it. Party, obviously, that's an issue. Don't know how big that could be. And who's the other one? Tommy.
Odegaard.
Oh, and Odegaard was the 4th one. Yeah, and Tommy was one of them. So, are you concerned if they come back injured about this North London derby?
Yes, because there's a question mark with the two players I want definitely. Well, one of Sinchenko or Tierney to definitely be fit. One of them two. I don't mind which one. But we absolutely 1,000% need Thomas Partey. He needs to be fit. I think we could probably, as much as listen, he's been in great form this year, but I think we could probably. I don't think the drop off would be so big if Odegaard wasn't available. I think with Thomas Partey or both left backs being unfit, that will be a huge drop off in terms of what I think, and how we'd play and what we'd produce. So it's those 3 players, Tierney, Sinchenko, and Thomas Partey, that I'm very concerned about. There was murmurings from the Ghanaian manager saying that, Partey will very soon be very, very healthy. However, that very soon is, we don't know. And then with Tierney, it was just stated that he came off as a precaution and he's fine. So, yeah, you don't know until you see them training on the official site, with the usual smiles and everything, and they're going through their drills. You're always going to be thinking to yourself, are these guys going to be fit? So, yeah. Those 3 players, Tierney, Zinchenko, and Odegaard, one of the two's got to be fit. And Partey, Thomas Partey, has got to be fit.
Yeah, because Tony's saying here Partey is needed against Spurs. And to be honest, Tony, with this one, I'd rather have Lino Sousa at left back than Cedric. No, because if you've watched him play, he's actually very talented. He was very well talked to, because obviously I live in the West Midlands. We signed him from West Brom. There was a lot of talk about him up here anyway.
Really?
Okay. So and Richard Garlick did come from West Brom himself, so he has very good knowledge from the West Brom as well. So Lino Sousa, I'd rather have him at left back because he is a left back. And then DWTT, I don't know your actual name, so I'm just going to keep calling you that.
Don't waste a tweet.
Okay.
It's an acronym.
All right. Partey gives us best chance to win. Without him, we will have to fight for a draw, a full 90 minutes match.
So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. The drop off, though, I understand what he's saying, because if you saw or you studied what Partey did against Brentford, it was for me, it was brilliant. He started off a bit shaky, a few passes here and there going a bit, but the way he controlled everything and controlled the tempo of the game, they couldn't get near him. And as well, towards the end, if you see his close control, etc., we miss that when he doesn't play. Lukonga play, obviously is supposed to do that type of role, but he obviously doesn't do it and will not right now do it as well as Thomas Partey. And that means that we play a different way. So and I think having Partey, there'll be no inferiority complex as well against the midfield of Tottenham when Thomas Partey play, and Granit Xhaka, dare I say it as well. Those two in midfield with possibly Odegaard or even Vieira. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, Brenny, are you okay now? Do you reckon? Shall we just add him and see if he's all right?
Yeah, let's see if he's all right.
Brenny, can you hear us, Brenny?
How's that? Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, can hear you both now.
Yay! Awesome.
Excellent.
All good.
So how are you? Obviously, we're not talking about the match.
Here we go.
Preview to
cancel.
Oh.
Right. I don't know what's up with this laptop today, but I've never had problems like that before. Yeah. So you're all good, man, because, boy, I'm hearing history, my kind of thing.
Well, this is what this was about. This is why I wanted a Tottenham fan.
Bobby, I still cannot hear you.
Oh, you're lagging again, Brenny.
Oh, what's going on? What is going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? I'll tell you what. Let me restart the laptop. Give me 5 minutes.
All right,
mate.
All right.
Right, there we go. Right. Let's just quickly.
Okay.
Right. I'm actually a right back, so I would be rubbish at sensitive midfielders, to be honest.
I actually used to play left back.
Okay, so you'll be a right left back. I'll be
a
right back. If Tommy's problem, I'll play right back. I'll have no problem with that.
The funny thing is, actually, no, I'm not going to say it on here. People get the wrong idea. I'll tell you privately, Bobby. Don't worry.
but we're going to try and give it 5 minutes, see if Brenny can sort out his laptop.
Yeah.
So when do you think we're going to do the match preview? Let's talk about this online.
I would say Thursday would be a good day. I'd say probably around what are we looking at? Thursday. Yeah. We can do it after Thursday afternoon. Or Thursday evening.
Yeah, Thursday evening sounds better than it. It's like 7 or something like that. 7, not too late. We'll have to see what goes.
Only thing with me between 7 and 9, I have to take my daughter plays football and
okay.
She trains. So I mean, if there is a option of doing it maybe a little bit before or after 9, 9:15, then I'm 100% in.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about 9 then, because I can do 9 because I could put my son to bed by 9. See, this is my social anxiety. It just kicks in and just comes out.
No. It's great because it's normally me who kind of cocks up. So it's good to have a partner who can crime.
Oh, hang on. What's DWTT saying here? Have a good show. I'm leaving for the airport. Next stop, London.
Wow.
Okay,
so
where's he?
DWTT's name is Gary. Gary.
Oh, okay.
So listen, it'll be great. I'll be going to the game myself. We'll have to kind of, keep in touch, and it would be good to kind of meet up. So, yeah, absolutely. Bobby as well. Look, if there are any games where you do find yourself down to, in London and stuff, then I'm sure, I can free up my season ticket for a game for you if you ever want to do it.
Oh, mate, that's touching.
I know you said that you've never been to the Emirates, so.
No, I've never been. My social anxiety has only got worse over the years. This is why I've gone onto this to try and ease it a little bit. I'm not a great fan of people in person, so I
Well,
prefer.
To be fair, I've been quite lucky because it's a club seat, so you can just pop out and go and get your drinks, and you get a free drink and with that, and it's a lot less manic than the regular. So if you ever do, then give us a shout.
Thank you, mate. That means a lot. Tony saying, it's obviously talking about DWTT.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Tony's saying lunchtime Thursday.
I could do Thursday lunchtime.
Depends, as long as it's before the school run, because obviously I'm a dad, so I've got to pick up my son.
Yeah.
We'll have to arrange that on WhatsApp and see what's best time
Absolutely.
for everybody and see who can do the most. I'll ping you canners on the Twitter DMs. So
Yeah, absolutely. Please do,
let's
Gary.
see.
It'd be good. I mean, you can't come all this way, and we've been talking for well over a year. It would be criminal if we didn't.
Where's he coming from?
Canada, I believe. Or is it the US?
Oh, he's a Canadian, is he?
Yeah, Canada or the US.
Oh, well, I have to be very careful. So is he Canadian or American? I don't
no, do you know what? That's my.
So he's coming from North America.
That's the PC way to say.
He's coming from North America.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just stay with that. Right, let's see if Star Man Brenny is working now.
Hey, can you all hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Here we go.
We got there eventually.
The technical gods, finally relented.
I'm telling you, man. The only other person I've seen
upset them.
Pardon?
What have you done to upset the technical gods? What have you done?
I don't know, man. I felt like Gumza was a few weeks ago, Yeah, same scenario. Now the laptop's playing up. I don't know why it is, so I'm just restarting it. So I just switched to the Mobi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just because I'm not long coming from work, and I was watching you guys on the way in, and I thought, yeah, man, history. I like history. I like history, man.
This is about the history of the North London Derby. I've got the fixtures going back all the way to what year was it? 1887, first time I ever played them. And the match was abandoned after 75 minutes due to bad light. So I've literally got all the fixtures up here because I was interested. And it's weird that Tottenham's record against us is 48%. So it's closer than we would probably like to admit. It is close between us. And obviously I went for the history of why the rivalry exists in the first place. 1913 and 1919, we can talk about that as much as we want to, but it's happened. We can't change it. It's happened. Tony's being really nice today. History, Brenny isn't a day over 35.
Well,
how comes you get all the love and Silver One kills me all the time? Flipping out.
I know, man. No, I've been I just turned 48 a couple of days ago, so yeah.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday, wasn't it?
I don't feel it though.
Birthday.
Yeah, happy belated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, listen, I think the whole rivalry thing and the history of this game, I mean, for me, it really kind of heightened from the mid-80s onwards. Even when we could be challenging for the league title and they could be fighting relegation, it's always going to be a tough game, and it's always one that you think, oh, just win this game. I think in terms of I reckon in my opinion, it's the third biggest in the UK. Okay, I guess you would say the Celtic Rangers is huge, and then you
could say it in England then, yeah. If you say England,
in England, I would say we're probably set. I mean, the Merseyside, not even the Merseyside derby. I don't know what's bigger. Is the Liverpool Man U game? Is that considered a derby or just like a historic rival?
Well, I actually weirdly did a stream last night on FTSN about rivalries. It was literally all about, because obviously this weekend there's two big, massive derbies, the Manchester derby and the North London derby, which I am doing both watch-alongs too, so that's going to be hilarious.
The Manchester derby hasn't got the history like ours, though, right?
No,
it hasn't. And even when I was looking in the history yesterday, that yes, they are classed as rivals, but it's only really proper rivalry since 2010. Since
Exactly.
the money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly get into the comments. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, Bernie, so get your brain switched on because they're going to be tough. Ollie's saying here, I'm going to the game and I'm very nervous. But as long as you don't slag off any of their players, mate, because you remember what happened against United. Because I'll go into that story.
I'm actually nervous as well. I was actually thinking of not going and giving my ticket up because I'm that nervous. Because I just
really,
I've never been. I've not been this nervous for a long time at North London derby. I think because of the start of both teams have had, this could be kind of like a defining moment in the season.
Yeah,
I just think there's a lot riding on it.
Yeah, well, Ollie did a watch along with me on the Manchester Arsenal game. And 20 seconds before Anthony scored, he was saying Anthony's rubbish and all slightly different words. And then Anthony just did that against us. And I was like, you cannot say a single word. And then he started to say that Saka wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden, Saka had a great shot. I says, you're banned. You're banned from any watch alongs for Arsenal ever again, mate. So, yeah, Ollie and me have, he said he's not going to do any watch alongs anymore because he's just not having a great time with watch alongs. I'm doing them I'm streaming to the Armory and FTSN for this weekend. Excellent. And I'm doing the City United derby as well. Luke's saying here, I think a lot of fans my age who perhaps don't know the history will be surprised at how equal our rivalry is in terms of wins against each other. That is true. And how many times Spurs have finished ahead of us. That is true also. Ollie's saying we need the first goal. Definitely. Yeah. Tony saying hello. Adam saying here, Liverpool versus Man United. Being a Man United fan, I would say is one of the biggest but I don't consider City well. Exactly. This is what I was talking about last night. There's a bigger, deeper meaning for all the rivalries in this country. Newcastle and Sunderland have the biggest rivalry because it goes back to the 17th century. It's such a deep meaning. For both clubs, it's more than just football. Tony saying,
you're absolutely right. I think the only problem with that is that both clubs have seemed to kind of yo-yoed from the Prem to Championship, and that's kind of watered it down somewhat. But you're right. If both teams were flying in the Prem, that would be that would be huge.
Yeah, Tony saying here, Oliver's definitely banned from watch longs. Ollie's saying here, no worries, Canners. So Brenny, 2 questions. Actually, we've already answered the first one, so it's just the second one. Do you class Arsenal and Tottenham as title contenders for this season?
I would say with the league positions where they are now, and it's only after 7 games, I would say yes. And I still feel City will win the league, but I think it's going to be very, 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 very tight at the top, especially in the top 4. Top 5, I think it could even be close. Yeah. I probably would have said no. Yeah, I would have said no if Liverpool had a good start, or if Chelsea started off well. Then I'd say, not contenders. Because I know you, and the thing is, I always look at it, I think you can never write Liverpool off.
Yeah.
But I think this October will define that.
Yeah. That's literally
this will be, yeah.
So are you similar to me where you're a little bit worried about what October could do to us, to be honest?
Yes, definitely, because of the only thing I'm worried about. I'm not worried about our 11. When our 11's fit, I'm not worried because I feel we could beat anybody. It is. But it's the injury problem. It's injuries that concern me more than anything. that concerns me more than who we're going to face in October.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard that I think we may have a problem with the left backs.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So,
me and Kenneth were talking about that.
Yeah, that's a big concern.
Yeah, because hopefully by Thursday when we do the match preview, hopefully we have a bit more information about who's come back, who's fine. Because at the moment, I am slightly worried. I watched the Scotland-Ireland game, and I was concerned for Kieran Tierney because it looked more like a concussion problem, not an injury problem. It was more of a concussion. Obviously, Partey, we've all heard the stories about the Thomas Partey being in Ghana, playing for Ghana and stuff. Tommy, there's a little bit of a rumour about Tommy. Zinchenko, you know, we don't really know what's going on there. So that's 4, for me, big squad players missing.
Yeah.
You know, that would concern me if those 4. I think there was even, I think Canna said about Odegaard. I'm not sure.
Wasn't he playing for Norway?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's fine. I haven't heard anything about Odegaard, but I think that one is quite easily covered with Vieira. So that one I'm not too concerned by. But the Thomas Partey one I am concerned by. No left backs, definitely concerned by that one. I'm not going with Tony's idea of Cedric at left back. I'd have the kid Lino Sousa. I'd put him there. He's a left back. He's a proper left back. He's been doing very well for the under-21s.
Yeah.
I think he's even played for England now as well. So, but yeah, I'd rather have Lino there than Cedric. I'd Cedric. Yeah, he's done all right, but I don't at my club as much as you know.
You can't play him at left back. No way.
No, exactly. Ollie's saying here, Spurs are one of those teams that sit back and play on the break, and we know what happened at United. Yeah, but I think the difference where Arteta made the mistake is he thought he could go to Old Trafford and do that.
Yeah,
we were trying to play as like the home team.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
are playing at home. We are playing at home, aren't we?
We are.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I put the Emirates on there. So yeah, we're definitely playing at home. So I'm not too concerned if Arteta does that, because that's how a home team should play.
Exactly.
Am I concerned about them on the break? Of course I am. It's if they're playing Son, Kulusevski, and Kane, of course. But they're the only 3 players I'm ever going to be worried about. You know, I've seen enough of Spurs this season to go. That's pretty much all their danger. If you can take them out, you know, and that's been Tottenham for quite a few years. It's their front 3. If you can cut them out, what are you going to be worried about? Seriously,
yeah, exactly.
You know, I know it's Conte ball now and it's trying to break them down. But even if we have Odegaard or Vieira, they've got the talent to try and find those little, what I'll call alleyways, where you can just find a pass and break them down. You know, Emerson Royale against Martinelli, that could be hilarious for me. we could be getting some quite good clips of those 2 playing against each other.
Yeah, he's not a fan's favourite, apparently, Royale, with the Tottenham faithful. So, yeah, hopefully he'll have another mare this weekend.
Yeah, because I can't think of... Because I think when they played Leicester, I think they had Perisic at right wing back, if I remember correctly. And to be fair, he looked pretty good as well. It's quite annoying how good he looks on either wings when he's not even really a right back wing back either. So.
Exactly, and he gives them, he brings that experience that he has.
Yeah. I was quite shocked they took him off on that game because I actually thought he was the best player for a while until Son came on and did his magic. But yeah, Perisic. I've even said to Arsenal fans, I wish we would have got him. I would have been quite happy with him. You know, good of as a decent option, plenty of experience.
A 1-year deal or something like that.
Exactly. But yeah. So we've talked about all the stuff. I don't know if you were here when I talked about how much both clubs have spent over the last 4 years, because that's quite an interesting fact, I thought. Net spend, because I always go for net spend. I don't believe in all this whatever rubbish. We've spent £50 million more over the past 4 years than Tottenham. So any Tottenham fans that want to say that we've spent so much more than them, they can shut up. Because honestly, that argument really annoys me, because they've spent this summer alone, they've spent 120 million quid, but they don't want to talk about that.
No, exactly. Well,
such and such was on loan and now it's permanent. Well, that's a new signing then, isn't it, mate?
Exactly.
You know?
It's the Spurs way.
Yeah, well, it's no gloves now because I was going to be so nice to the Tottenham fans on here tonight, but they've decided to play me like a right kipper tonight. So I'm like, no, gloves are off. But yeah, it's just a mad one. And obviously, we will talk about this game in more depth on hopefully Thursday. We'll
Of
do a
course.
preview at some point. I will
Yeah.
be doing the watch along on Saturday. Is it 12:30 kickoff?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I will put a StreamYard link for anyone that wants to jump on. More than welcome to watch it with me, but I know a lot of people like to watch with the sound on, and I get that. But if anyone wants to join me, they're more than welcome because I'm going to enjoy it.
I'll be watching it. I'll be watching it at my local football club because we got a league game on Saturday. So yeah, and that's at North Greenford United. So I'll be watching the game there. I'll have to make my way down there quite early though.
Oh, cool. Bit of annoying.
So,
yeah, it's going to be a bit of. We better see the whole game properly.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh,
They've got a screen. They've got BT Sport there. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the main thing. At least you can watch it properly.
Yeah.
But guys and Brenny and Canners for jumping on as well. I wasn't expecting any company. I did put the StreamYard link out just in case anyone wanted to jump on. Mainly looking for Tottenham fans, but they decided to hide.
Well, yeah, exactly. Two of my workmates said no. One of them said he'd be nervous. So I'm like, I'll help you.
Yeah, well, you know what? I am one of the most non-biased. I do the the reason Errol, who got me onto these channels, was he's seen the way I talk about other teams.
Yeah.
I don't just sit there and banter people. I have proper conversations about questions that some people might not even think about sometimes, just to see their view, because I see it in a different view maybe, and
Of course.
But I'm not here to wind anyone up. I'm really not. But now I am because they've decided to upset me. So I have got some lovely Tottenham fan friends, and I'll still speak to them. But certain ones now that might be linked with this channel, I'm not going to talk to you. Not until next week. Maybe I might hold a grudge for about a week. But no, I appreciate everyone that's been in the comments, everyone that's tuned in. Brenny, thank you ever so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Bobby.
it. Canners as well that came on, and he's got to go and pick up his missus, so that's why he's had to drop out. But
yeah, God bless.
For now, guys, I will see you very soon. But peace out and come on, you Gunners.